Hi you guys, it's Nikita Lene back with another video. Today we are going to be talking about the current climate of nursing and how it affects new nurses and nursing students, as well as what I would do if I were a nursing student or a new nurse just starting out. So if you're interested, stick around. All right, so first let's start with introductions. For those of you who have never seen my face before, my name is Nikita Lene. I have a YouTube channel called Life with Lene where I talk about my journey of becoming a nurse from an Air Force veteran, being a single mom, and currently being a travel nurse. My specialty is ICU. But I also have a business called New Nurse on the Block. And in New Nurse on the Block, I teach new nurses all they need to know for their transition to practice. That includes things like time management, critical thinking, building your nursing brand, and all things that new nurses need to know. So today I want to talk to you if you are a new nurse or you are a nursing student about this topic, because I have seen it everywhere, all over the internet. Every single social media outlet, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. New nurses and nursing students are talking about, should I even continue on my current path? Should I drop out of nursing school now? What the heck is going on with nursing? What have I gotten myself into? I really like to drop my 2 cents here and there, but I figured let's just make this into a video because I got a lot to say. Initially, I was going to make this into just one video and kind of briefly go over some of these topics, but to be honest with you, I really decided against it. I decided to break this video down, break it into multiple videos, maybe even make like a little mini series, because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of different things I want to bring to your attention, maybe a new mindset shift and a way to look at things, as well as talking about the trends of nursing and how this entire situation of how things are playing out in the media are really going to affect you as a new nurse. If you're interested, let's just jump in. All right, so first and foremost, there's something that I was talking to one of my coworkers about a couple weeks ago, and it really dawned on me in the midst of that conversation that nursing school sets us up for failure, and this is how. And I want to call it the Florence Effect. We'll call it the Florence Effect, okay? So in nursing school, we are taught all about Florence Nightingale and her mission and how she's so imperative to nursing, how she really threw herself out there as a martyr, and she made so many sacrifices, and how we should too. And ultimately, we were talking about, why is Florence pushed so hard in nursing school? The truth of the matter is that we are taught, it is embedded within us, this hustle culture as well as this martyr culture as nurses, that it is our job to sacrifice so much and get so little in return, and that's just supposed to be okay. We are supposed to be okay with getting paid the bare minimum. We're supposed to be okay with being verbally and physically assaulted by patients and their family members. We are supposed to be okay with not being able to go pee or being able to eat full lunches. We are just supposed to be okay with it. We're supposed to roll with the punches, and that this is the norm. And there's nothing normal about it, you guys. When you think about where this mindset comes from and where it starts, it really starts in nursing school. We are taught that no matter what, we're just supposed to roll with the punches. And the truth of the matter is that is toxic. It's so toxic. I talked a little bit about this in one of my previous videos, and literally the name of the video is Nursing is Toxic. So I'll link it somewhere up here so you guys can take a look at that video. But the hustle culture is embedded in us from the beginning. Not to mention, there is a pipeline that is embedded into our mental consciousness as new nurses as well. If you think about nursing, when we are in nursing school, really the only clinicals that we're really subjected to is either working in the hospital or working in the mental health field, which even the mental health, I don't know about your school, but our mental health rotations weren't even really as in-depth as working in the actual hospital setting, which is what we're kind of taught is that's the norm for nurses. That's where you're supposed to work. If you don't go work in the hospital, then you've completely wasted your degree, and are you a real nurse? That is what's pushed on us. That's what's completely repetitive. And we get that from all different directions. And I don't know about you guys, but there's not really many of my classmates that really even said, oh, I want to be a school nurse, or oh, I want to do just anything different outside of the hospital setting. But for the few that did, everybody looked at them completely flabbergasted, like, oh, how dare you waste your entire nursing license to go do something else other than bedside nursing? Are you even a real nurse? What a waste of your degree. What a waste of these student loans. That is what is embedded in us. So it creates a relationship between nursing school and these hospitals that creates a pipeline. But we are just pretty much pushed into this culture where we are automatically pushed into the hospital setting. And then with nursing school embedding this idea into us that we're supposed to accept anything, we better be grateful for this job that we receive, and we better accept anything that comes with that job. It's like a natural progression of toxicity. Even nursing school itself is that way. A lot of us deal with a lot of bullying culture from some of the nursing instructors. And I've seen a lot of that on TikTok lately too. People just talking about their nursing experience and their clinical experience and things like that. So it starts in nursing school when you first get in, and it's like, oh, you're lucky to even be in nursing school. And then after that, you're lucky that you're going to graduate. Look how many of your classmates didn't make it. Which a lot of the stuff in nursing school is it's made even harder than it really and truly needs to be. And then once you graduate, it's like, oh, you're lucky you got that job. You should just be blessed that you got that job in this really huge hospital system. Even if they do tell you you have to work in med surg for 2 years before you can do the specialty you really want to do. And it is toxic. The whole thing is toxic. The whole thing is rigged against us. And this negative culture is just perpetuated over and over and over again. It's a toxic cycle. So how the heck do we get out of this toxic cycle? It starts with you. As new nurses and nursing students, I think that you guys have the most beautiful perspective because you're sitting up at the top of this hill and really you're able to observe everything that's going on at the bottom. What I mean by that is, yes, you're starting your nursing career or you're in the very beginning of your journey, but you're able to watch what's going on in these big hospitals. You're able to see what's going on in the general public, all of these court cases and everything, and you have a great perspective where you are really at an advantage to learn. And one of the biggest things I would teach you, or I would hope that you learn, is to drop the Florence mindset. Drop it. Drop it now. Understand that you are not meant to be a martyr. You are a human. Understand that you have rights and that you are important. Understand that you don't have to sacrifice yourself in order to be a good nurse. That doesn't make you a good nurse because you're sacrificing your pee breaks and your water breaks. It doesn't make you a good nurse because your patients hit you and you don't file charges against them. None of that stuff that the hospitals and the nursing school programs tell you that makes you into a good nurse is what actually makes you into a good nurse. And so I want you to start thinking about that now. Start considering the fact that you're going to have to learn early on how to advocate for yourself and learn from all of us, the OG nurses. And when I say OG nurses, I mean anybody who's been a nurse for longer than 2-3 years. We've been through some stuff, okay? We've seen some stuff, and we have been out here on the front lines dealing with this way before you, which means that you're in a great position to learn from us. And take notes. Write all of this stuff down. Join all of the forums that you can and learn from everybody around you. Pick up on resources, questions to ask in job interviews, what to put on your resume, things that are red flags on if a hospital is toxic. Learning all of these things is going to work to your advantage. So literally get a notebook and dedicate it to nothing but nursing. And in that notebook, one of the most important things I want you to write down on the first 2 to 3 pages of that notebook are what your standards are. Write down what you will and will not accept. Write down what you expect from your nursing career. Write down your goals, short-term and long-term. Write down what you expect from the nurse leaders around you, as well as from your nurse preceptor and your nurse mentorships, because these are all professional relationships that you're going to encounter within the first 3 to 6 months of your career. And so write down those things. Write down honestly what you feel that you need to be successful, skills that you feel you're weak in, that you want to improve on. All of these things are things to reflect on before you even jump into nursing, because this is going to help to set the tone for you for future experiences. This is going to set the bar of where you are and where you want to be, and this is going to help you to set up the groundwork, the foundation for your nursing career, as well as your career progression map that you're going to build for yourself. Next, I want you to take the rose-colored glasses off. And what I mean by this is while we're in nursing school, even sometimes before we even get to nursing school, we see nurses on TV, on like Grey's Anatomy and all of these TV shows, and we think that we know what nursing is like. We get into the clinical setting and we see like small bits and pieces of nursing, and we really start to build this fantasy and this idea in our heads of what it's like to be a nurse and what nursing is going to be like. And unfortunately, because we set the bar so high based off of unrealistic expectations, it can be an even bigger disappointment when we get into the real world of nursing. And this is the reality even before the pandemic, even before all of the chaos that's currently going on in nursing. A lot of us had this great idea that every single day of nursing we're going to be saving lives because that's what they do on episodes of The Resident. We think every single day is going to be some life-changing event of a patient that's going to change our lives and we're going to change theirs. And that's not the case. A lot of us pedestalize these huge hospital systems and we think to ourselves, I'm not a real nurse if I don't work in a level 1 trauma hospital. And some of those level 1 trauma hospitals are toxic. Okay? They are. So I want you to stop looking at nursing through rose-colored glasses. I want you to start thinking about nursing in a more realistic way and understand that just like any other career field, there are going to be ups and there's going to be downs. There's going to be people that disappoint you. There's going to be hospital systems that are completely different on the inside than what you imagined them to be. There's going to be jobs where you had high expectations for this job and you were so excited and it just wasn't what you expected it to be. So I want you to I'm not trying to crush any of your dreams. I'm not trying to tell you nursing is terrible by any means, because there are some phenomenal jobs and phenomenal hospitals out there. But I want you to step into nursing and think about it more realistically. Get all of the fantasy and the fairy tale out of your mind and understand that not everything in nursing is perfect, and it's not a fairy tale. It is a career. It's a career, okay? A lot of us are like, oh, I have this calling on my life to become a nurse, and that's great. That is phenomenal. But sometimes that calling, if you focus so much on that, you're going to be even more disappointed when you realize that this is real life. This is not a fantasy. And nursing is rough. There are there are going to be terrible days. There are going to be rough days. You may get cussed out. You may be, you may deal with all sorts of different things that you're like, oh, wow, I did not think that that's what nursing is, okay? So if you come in on a more realistic level of thinking about nursing and what nursing really means, even if that means watching YouTube videos and joining these forums online, come in with a realistic mindset. Either you're not going to be let down as much, or at least you can go up from there. Like, okay, this hospital is better than I expected it to be, and my situation is better than I expected it to be. But if you come in putting nursing on this really high pedestal and living in this fantasy world, you're going to come crashing down really quickly when you realize that it's not that way, and that this is reality. This is like any other career field, that you can be disappointed and you can go through hardships and you can have terrible jobs. But that doesn't mean that you're not meant to be a nurse, and it doesn't mean that your whole career is going to be like that. That would be my next piece of advice for you guys. My next piece of advice goes along with dropping that Florence savior mindset, and that is to worry about the business that pays you, okay? So a lot of people are overly anticipating starting nursing. Like, you may have just started nursing school, or you can have 6 months left, a year left, 2 years left of nursing school, and you're stressed about starting your career in nursing because of everything you're seeing in the media. But the reality is there's a couple different things to go over. So the reality is that nursing is just like any other career. There are trends. Things change. So the way that things are right now, they could be completely different in 6 months. We don't know. But if you rob yourself of the opportunity to just focus on nursing school because you're so busy worried about what's going to happen in 6 months or in a year, you could possibly distract yourself and stress yourself out so much that you don't even finish nursing school. Or you could rob yourself of a phenomenal experience if you choose to quit now based off of somebody else's experience or something that you've seen online. And so I want to encourage you that if you are already in nursing school, don't quit. Nursing can be completely different by the time you graduate. And also something else to think about is that there are so many different options in nursing. You know, a lot of people are complaining about bedside nursing and what's going on in these big hospitals. So if that's the main thing that is deterring you from finishing nursing school, like, why? That's not the only nursing job out there. Don't let these nursing schools fool you, and don't let these hospitals fool you. There is a huge plethora of nursing jobs out there. So if you're thinking about giving up your opportunities of being a nurse just because bedside nursing is terrible, or even because just bedside nursing is terrible for what you've seen online, don't do it. If you've already dedicated all of this time, energy, and money, even just getting in nursing school, like, I don't care if you just got an acceptance into nursing school and you start in the fall, you know that you've already put in a lot of work, because the path to even getting into nursing school is tough. It is so freaking hard just to get that acceptance letter. So if you've already put in that much work and you're passionate about it and you're willing to put in the work to finish nursing school, don't quit now. Trends and things change, and there are so many other options. Even when it comes to bedside nursing, you guys, not every hospital is the same. A lot of these hospital systems are toxic. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to gaslight you or gaslight the people who are going through these experiences, because I myself have experienced it as a nurse working in some of these very toxic hospital systems. But the reality is that that's not every hospital, and that's not every specialty. If you rob yourself of that opportunity now, you never know what opportunities are out there for you. So when I say mind the business that pays you, right now that's nursing school. That is your business. That is your number one focus. Don't worry about what's going on. And if that means that you have to turn the TV off, turn off TikTok for a little while, stay off of Instagram for a little while, then do that. I would encourage you to have friends and family and hobbies that are not surrounded by nursing, that have nothing to do with nursing. Go out and roller skate, go hike, go knit, go plant in your garden. Do something that's away from nursing, because I promise you, if you have a consolidated amount of negativity and social media influence, it's going to cause you a lot of anxiety. And I would urge you to think about, why do you want to stress about nursing, stress about future situations right now, when you are robbing yourself of the joy that you have right now and the opportunity that you have right now. In a future video that's in this series, I'm going to go over all of the different options that you have in nursing. So we're going to talk about goal setting and talk about how you can break your goals down. Let's say, for example, you're passionate about working with kids, but you're scared about working in the hospital. Let's talk about different jobs you can do that are going to meet that same objective, but maybe it's a different type of hospital setting, or maybe it's not in the hospital at all, but you can still get what you need. We're going to talk about that in a future video, because I feel like that is so important. Don't stress yourself about having to work in a hospital setting. If you know right now that you are stressed the hell out about it, stop it. Like, stop stressing about it. There are so many other nursing options out there. Now, if you are a new nurse and you're just starting your career, that's a little bit different, because that's a little bit more of a upcoming event that you should be stressed out about. And so I would urge you to continue watching this series, because I have so many further details for you guys that are going to be helpful for you on how to find a good job that's going to be a lower stress environment, that's going to still fit your goals and your needs for your career satisfaction. And so we're going to talk about all of that. But if you are a new nurse, I would say focus on what's important to you. If you're already in a job, focus on, can I see myself staying here short term, long term? Can I see myself staying in this environment? If this environment is toxic and I'm overly stressed, then I need to focus on finding a new job. And I know for a lot of people, we can't just up and quit. You know, some of us are single parents. Some of us have families to feed. That's going to be a gradual process, but thinking about what your businesses in this very moment, focusing on what's important to you in this very moment, and not overly stressing about the far future. Because like I said, trends happen, things change, and there are so many other opportunities out there that are not just super toxic, unhealthy hospital bedside jobs. I promise you that. So I think that's all I have for this video. I'm definitely going to continue to expand because I have a couple of really good topics I want to talk to you guys about that have to do with the current state of nursing and what you should be doing if you are a new nurse or a nursing student to prepare yourself for what's to come. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.